Hey friends, in today's video, we're going to talk about 12 hot new releases at Sephora. These are products you've seen all over your feed. I'm going to demo them on camera for you and talk about coverage, pigment payoff, wearability, key benefits, all the things that you need to know before you go in store or online to shop. Before we get started, a big thank you to Sephora for sponsoring this video. Let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to prime the skin, and this is actually a step that I came to realize I don't really do on camera too much, and it's because I wear a tinted SPF at home that I typically put on first thing. Today, I'm wearing a translucent SPF so that I could apply my primer on camera for you guys, but I do get that question a lot. If you're using a tinted SPF, should you do the primer first or should you do the SPF first? If it's tinted, I would recommend doing the primer first and then the tinted SPF. But honestly, you might find that you don't necessarily need to use a primer. I don't use a primer most days. Primers are really great if you're trying to combat a certain issue, whether that's, your makeup is fading throughout the day, it's not staying on, maybe you have really excessively oily skin and you need to control that, or maybe you have a lot of texture and you want to minimize the texture. You can find blurring primers. So I don't necessarily think that priming is a step that everyone needs. However, if you're looking for a hydrating, radiant primer that's going to keep your makeup on all day, I can say this one is beautiful. This was actually sent to me by NARS a few weeks ago, and so I've been using it, and you guys, it's so beautiful. I've been using this in the mornings when I head to the gym. So before I do, because usually I'll work out in the mornings, I will, just put a quick little layer of something on my skin, go work out, come home, shower, wash my face, and then do my skincare routine. So this is what I use before I go to the gym because it's so hydrating, and it just gives the skin a bit of radiance. I'll put this on, and then I'll put my tinted SPF on top of it. And this is such a beautiful, beautiful primer, skincare product, really. I love the NARS Light Reflecting Collection. That foundation is just stunning. When it launched, I had like a moment where that's all I was wearing. It is so beautiful. So this primer is very hydrating. It gives a soft radiance to the skin. I've really, really been enjoying this primer. You can see what it does. It just kind of lights up the skin. It doesn't look shimmery or glittery or heavy, but it does definitely illuminate and brighten the skin. It also has hyaluronic acid in it. And when I was actually prepping for this video and I was going over all the products and kind of taking my notes of things that I didn't want to miss, hyaluronic acid is like the ingredient. I mean, we all know it's a great ingredient. It's a moisture magnet. It helps retain moisture and attract moisture. But I will say hyaluronic acid was highlighted in almost every single one of these products. Okay, moving right along, we're going to move on to foundation. And when I tell you, I don't think I can quite describe the level of excitement that I had when I saw this product was launching. And I hadn't heard anything about this. I hadn't seen anyone talk about this. I didn't see it on social media. I just was on Sephora's website scrolling through what was new. And I saw that Dior was launching a foundation stick, and I was giddy. I wanted to plan this entire video around this product. Let's give it a try. I've worn this a couple of days, you guys, so we're going to talk through it. I'm going to share with you my thoughts. By the way, I just ordered this online because when it launched, it might be in stores, but when it launched, it was only available online or in the app. I couldn't find it in my stores quite yet. I don't know if it's there now, but so I just ordered the shade that I wear in the normal Dior Forever Matte Foundation, which is one of my favorite long-wearing foundations, and I'm the shade 2.5 Neutral. They describe this foundation as being buildable, blurring, hydrating, heat and humidity resistant, and very long wearing. So let's go apply this. I played with this a few times, so I do kind of know about how much to apply. Whenever I'm trying a new foundation, I always recommend applying less off the bat and then going and adding more if you need it. So sometimes you'll see people online applying a foundation stick and they kind of cover the whole area. I'm just doing this one swipe, and I'm gonna blend this out to see if I actually need more. I'm gonna go in and just kind of spread the product. I will say this product is very spreadable. When it comes to foundation sticks, typically those formulas can be drier than, your liquid or cushion foundations or so forth. It makes sense, right? This one is actually really creamy and it blends and spreads into the skin really, really nice. I have been enjoying it. And the coverage, I would say, is definitely buildable. I'm not applying a lot right now, so I'm not getting a full coverage from this first application. But what I will do is I will go in and add more coverage where I need it. I have found this foundation to be very blurring, similar to the Dior Forever Matte Liquid Foundation. It's very long wearing, and it definitely feels very hydrating for a stick foundation. Okay, so there's a nice lightweight layer of this. You can still see kind of some imperfections through the skin that you could normally cover with foundation. Like something like this, I don't call that imperfection. I actually love this little spot I have here on my right here in the corner of my eye. But like that, these two, you know, I'll never really cover those with foundations because they're just so dark. But I do have these lighter sunspots that you can cover with foundation, and I can slightly see them through this light layer. So I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna add a little bit more, kind of focusing in that area right there. This formula is very, very creamy. When you swipe it on the skin, you guys, it just feels very creamy, very luxe. Not like your typical drier foundation sticks. I shouldn't say all foundation sticks are dry. They're certainly not, but when it comes to foundation formulas, they're known to be more dry in consistency and texture. Oh, this is beautiful. And the finish on this actually looks to be very kind of natural. It's not matte. Of course, I'm getting some of that light reflecting primer peeking through, but this combo together is really beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna leave the coverage right there. I could definitely go in and add more if I wanted, but I'm not going to. You know what, it's summertime in Texas. I'm just gonna do kind of what I need and no more. Okay, now the next product is, we're not gonna count this in one of the new releases. I kind of made a boo-boo. I thought I was purchasing the new Tarte Creaseless Creamy Concealer, but I ended up picking the original Creaseless Concealer. But I do wanna apply this on camera because I wanna talk a little bit about it since it's a new product to me. This is a really lovely concealer, you guys. It's very, very lightweight and it is hydrating, full coverage. Very, very nice. I've been wearing this the last week, testing it out, and I've enjoyed it. And to be quite honest, you guys, I didn't even realize until I was about to sit down and film this video that I had ordered the wrong one because it feels that creamy to me. And this actually doesn't have a matte finish. This has a radiant finish. But I thought this was the creamy concealer all along until I sat down ready to film this video. I looked at the label and I was like, oops, I got the wrong one. But I did want to share this with you because I have been enjoying this. It's lightweight for a full coverage concealer. It's definitely one of the lighter weight full coverage concealers that I've used. It blends out absolutely beautifully. And I like to just kind of press it in to blend it out, give me that full coverage. Now, it does refer to it as a creaseless concealer. You guys, I will say when it comes to concealer, you just really have to make sure you don't apply too much. One little trick that I always do is I will apply my concealer like so, then I'll take my brush about, you know, halfway through blending out, and I'm gonna rub it on a dry towel here just to kind of wipe off any excess and then go back and blend this out. And what that's doing is it's slightly absorbing a little bit of this product. Keep in mind, synthetic fiber brushes are not going to absorb as much product as like a natural hairbrush or a sponge, like a beauty sponge. So if you have a very full coverage concealer and you've applied too much, you know, a sponge might help you really absorb that. But they will absorb a little bit. So in cases like this where you might just over apply a little bit, I always like to go over and kind of bounce it over the skin. I saw a video, I think it was Lisa Eldridge maybe. I'm pretty sure it was Lisa Eldridge. She was showing like one of her favorite little makeup artist tips. And the tip was simply just taking clean brushes and going over your makeup once you're done. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I do that all the time. And I don't even realize that, yes, the reason I'm doing that is just to really, really seamlessly blend out everything and absorb and remove any excess. Okay, the next product I was so excited about. This is actually a shade extension in an already existing formula, and I love this formula, you guys. This is the Say Beauty Glowy Super Gel Highlighter. I have this in the other two shades that it comes in. What I love about this highlighter, the formula is a gel formula. It's extremely lightweight. The highlighting properties to this are so refined that it just sits on the skin and it looks like truly lit from within skin. Very much like the NARS Light Reflecting Primer in products. It just gives you this highlight that looks natural. It doesn't look like makeup. It doesn't look heavy. You don't look like a disco ball. And it's just very, very mature skin friendly. It's not going to accentuate texture. It's just absolutely beautiful. I like to just take a little bit on my finger, kind of pre-blend it out on my hand, and then I'll just tap this in the areas that I want a little extra highlight. Now, what's great about this product, it's so versatile. You can do it like I'm doing, which is applying it lightly on top of your makeup, or you can mix it in with your foundation if you want a little more kind of subtle all over glow. You can also mix it in with a moisturizer, and honestly, mixing this in with a moisturizer would kind of give you those same results that you're getting from that NARS Light Reflecting Primer. It's going to give you that same type of look, just a very subtle lit from within glow. It's absolutely beautiful. It gives you flawless supermodel skin in a bottle. It's gorgeous. I like to put a little bit on my nose. So this color is the new shade. So it's just a soft, soft champagne pink. The pigment on these are very light, so you're not going to get a heavy pink shade. It's really just a light champagne, like kind of hint of rose. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Say Beauty is really a standout brand to me. I really find their formulas to be very, very well thought out and unique in a lot of ways. And I don't think it's a brand that just pops off all these new releases all the time. There are some brands that you see a new release from, it seems like every few weeks. Say is not one of them, but when they do release something new, I'm always excited to try it because chances are I'm gonna love it. Okay, let's move on to bronzer. This was another product I was very excited to try, is the Ilia. It's the Sun Shift Cream Bronzer. I got the shade Ray, and what this is a silky cream formula that turns into like a very lightweight powder. This also has blurring effects to it. It is supposed to have a 12-hour wear. It is blendable, very, very blendable. I'm actually going to apply it. What are we gonna apply it with? We're gonna apply it with this brush here. And I'm gonna use the side of this brush. We're gonna pick this up. I can't remember if this is the lightest or the second to lightest shade. And I'm just gonna bounce this onto the skin. This is a very easy to work with product because it doesn't come off the bat like super pigmented. So you really have a lot of control. Like I'm finding that it's kind of light, so I'm actually putting some more pressure on my brush and more pressure to the skin. Do you see that? Okay, so pretty. This is very blendable. So if you apply too much in an area, just move your brush around and you'll be able to spread it out and get a perfect blend with it. It's really, really beautiful. Because it's a cream formula, this product would work really well if you are like skipping foundation and you're just doing maybe a little tinted SPF or maybe nothing at all on your skin. And you're just applying your skincare and then putting this on. If you are not wearing makeup and you want to do a little bit of bronzer, like you're not wearing foundation, I should say, always look for a cream formula because you need something creamy to adhere to drier skin. When you have foundation on, it kind of creates a foundation and almost like a primer and prep for your bronzer and your blush. So if you're not doing that, make sure you use cream products to get the most natural application. So beautiful. This shade is definitely more on the cooler side. It'd make a really nice contour. It's also going to give a radiant finish because of the cream formula. Very soft. We are very, very glowy. We're about to go in here and kind of matte things down in just a second. Okay, before we go and set the foundation with powder, I do want to go in and add my blush. Now this product is new because the shade is new. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Blush Sticks, and this is a new shade. It's called Sweet Pink. These have a brush on one side. They're pretty short and dense. I still like to use something a little fluffier to blend out my blushes. And then the cream product on the other side. Now this color right here, it's called Sweet Pink, but you guys, it's actually kind of more of like a pop of coral on me. It's more of, I would describe this as more of like a coral with a hint of pink to it. These have medium coverage. They are supposed to give a radiant finish. When I'm working with cream blushes, I like to actually take my brush directly to the blush and then apply it to the cheeks. I just find that I get more control this way and a prettier application. And I'm going to use a smaller little brush. I'm going to kind of blot it on my hand just to make sure I don't apply too much color. This has nice pickup and payoff. I'm going to smile and I'm going to start right here on the apple of my cheek, but then I'm going to kind of blend upward to kind of lift the cheek a bit. This is pretty. Nice light application. This is a good formula if you're just getting started in cream blushes because again, it's not super, super pigmented. When things are really, really pigmented, they can be a little harder to blend out or a little harder to work with. This is not, so this gives you a lot of control. Okay, the cheeks are glowing. We've got that radiant primer, we've got that Say Beauty highlighter, and we have that Ilia bronzer, which is radiant, and now we have this blush. So pretty, okay. Oh, this color is nice. I actually am gonna bring a little bit further over and I'm gonna kind of extend it on the center of the face, almost to give me that like kind of slightly sunburnt look. It is summertime, so we can pull that off. And this product in particular is really nice and you're able to sheer it out so you can get that without looking like crazy, you know? Okay, let's go ahead and set everything. I'm definitely glowy. I definitely feel the need to set in certain areas of the skin so that when I step outside, you know, I have a really pretty controlled glow, if you know what I mean. Now, I want to talk about two new powders, you guys. I know you've all been hearing about the Rare Beauty pressed powder that recently launched. I also picked up this powder from Too Faced, which is new. So we're going to talk about both. I'm going to apply the Rare Beauty on one side, apply the Too Faced on the other. There are some similarities in these two, but there's also like really one big key difference that I think separates these two very differently. So whether you're looking for something with a more natural finish or you're looking for a very matte finish, these have that that variety. Okay, let's start with the Rare Beauty because this is the one I think that has gotten a lot more attention online. I picked up the shade Natural because when I went into store, they had very little shade selection left. I would have gotten the shade that was slightly lighter than this, but this does work. This is very peach, so it looks lighter on camera because it's reflecting all this light in front of me, but in person it's definitely more on the peachy side, but it works. These are very sheer, very light coverage. They give a natural finish to the skin and they just set everything, give a very soft focus effect to the skin, but more of a natural finish. So if you are someone that's wearing a radiant finish foundation and you don't want to mattify that or lose the integrity of that, this would be a good powder to go for. And I'm just gonna pick it up and apply it underneath the eyes first to set that under eye area. This is also a really great powder for under the eye because it does have a natural finish. Typically when you're setting under the eye, you don't want anything that's too heavy or too matte because that can really dry the under eye out, accentuate fine lines and texture. Like sometimes if I use too heavy of a powder under my eyes, I'll look in the mirror 4 hours later and I just noticed lines that I never even noticed before. So keep that in mind. So I'm just gonna sweep this on softly on the skin. I'm using a small powder brush, and the reason why is because I don't really want to powder over all this cream product I did. I just want to set the center of the face where I tend to produce shine and oil, and I want to set around those cream products to kind of create a little perimeter. That way my cream products don't melt or move or shift throughout the day. So this really just does set slightly, take that shine down, but you're not seeing a real matte finish from this. You really are seeing a natural skin-like finish. Okay, let's move over to the Too Faced. And I have to say, when it comes to packaging, this is what got me. I saw this, sitting there, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And then I realized it was new, and I was like, perfect, we're gonna add this to my video. So this is the Too Faced Born This Way Soft Blur Flexible Finishing Setting Powder. I grabbed the shade Medium. Now this is similar to the Rare Beauty in the sense that it's a light coverage, lightweight powder. It's also blurring, but this has a very, very matte finish to it. So you see that shine? Watch this, you guys. I'm just gonna take my brush and press it to deposit the powder. Now this is important, you guys. When you are dealing with very radiant, luminous, glowy foundation, concealer, all of that, when you go in and set it with powder, really just press, you guys. Don't go in and drag because you're gonna likely spread that product around. So really just kind of press it. Once you've set it, then you can go and kind of soften it, but you don't wanna just start sweeping the brush over wet, glowy foundation. Okay, now I'm applying a little more than I probably should. I got carried away talking. Now I like both of these powders. They're both very high performing for what they are, but again, when it comes to selecting which one's best for you, if you have very, very oily skin or combo skin that gets pretty oily throughout the day, I would do the Too Faced. If you're more on the dry side, I would go with the Rare Beauty. Or normal. If you're normal, you can use either one of them. It's just a preference of what do you like more. Perfect. Okay. And this shade is a little bit lighter, so you might see that this has highlighted this area. It's simply because it's a lighter shade. You could get the same effect from the Rare Beauty if you choose a lighter shade. Okay, you guys, the next product is, I'm really excited about this. I didn't realize that this was being reformulated, but Laura Mercier apparently reformulated their Caviar eyeshadow sticks. You know I am such a sucker for cream shadow sticks. It's one of my favorite inventions. Why, you ask? Because so many reasons. They're so easy to apply. They're beautiful if you find the right formula. They're long wearing. They can be used alone, like to create a 2-second eye look, or you can use them as liner and mix them with shadow. There's a lot of versatility with them. So when I saw that they were reformulating these, I knew I wanted to try them. I was a fan of the originals, so I was curious to know kind of what's changed. So I picked up 2 shades. I picked up the shade Wild Rose, and then I picked up the shade Strapless. The formula has raspberry stem cells, which ensures a smooth application, hyaluronic acid, which again we know hydrates and primes the skin. They have multi-dimensional pigments, which provide a lustrous, high-impact shimmer, and they are 24-hour wear. It also says that the rich color glides effortlessly, blends, and builds without tugging, flaking, smudging, or creasing. Waterproof and hydrating, which is pretty huge. Now that sounds like the ideal eyeshadow stick, to be honest. When you find an eyeshadow stick that hits all those marks, they're creamy, they glide onto the skin, they blend out really easily, but once they set, they stay in place. That's a winner, because sometimes you find these formulas and they're very dry. They might be long wearing, but it's so hard to get them on the delicate eye skin. So we're gonna use these 2 shades. Let's see. Okay, this is the lighter shade. This is Wild Rose, and it does feel very, very glidey. It's gliding onto the skin very nicely. And this is the shade Strapless. So let's look at this shade. Okay, this is actually lighter than I thought. It looks like it's going to be darker from the swatch, but it is lighter than I thought. And this is, so we basically have kind of like a little bit of a rose gold, and then we have a slight light bronzy shade. I'm gonna take the lighter shade, even though they're both light, I'm gonna take this lightest shade, and we're gonna apply this right in the inner corner of the eye. Okay, that does glide on so effortlessly. I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm just, really sweeping this on the eye, and it is applying beautifully. Very creamy. Now, when it comes to cream shadow sticks, the key is if you are gonna blend them out, you need to blend them out before they have time to dry. So I'm going to quickly apply that in the inner corner. I'm going to go in here real quick, and I'm going to take a brush to just kind of blend out the edges, just shear this out. I didn't apply this all over the lid because I'm going to go in with the other shade and apply it on the outer half of the lid. But I did want to kind of, blend out the seams there. So let's go in with the other shade, and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to concentrate this on the outer half of the lid. Okay, these are very, very creamy, you guys. Very nice. They do really glide onto the skin so easily. They've got good color pigment, but they seem buildable to me. And what I mean by that is when I first apply it, it's kind of lighter, but if you go over and over, you get more impact. And that's not always the case. Some products you go and you apply and you get like full impact with one swatch. This one's not the case. You get a sheer impact with one swatch, and then you can layer it and you get more of an impact. So I personally like and prefer those types of formulas because, again, it's just control, Sometimes if they're shadow sticks that have a lot of impact right off the bat, those definitely can be nice. I know a lot of us love formulas like that, but sometimes you can apply too much. Or what about the days that you want to go a little lighter? So even though this requires slightly more effort because you have to build it on the days that you want high impact, it allows you more flexibility. Okay, I'm just gonna blend that into the crease. Okay, so this is a nice, very simple eye look we're doing today. I'm not gonna go in and add more to this eye, but you certainly could if you wanted to create a crease with a little bit of powder shadow. But I'm gonna just keep it kind of simple today because, again, today we're all about testing and trying new formulas. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next launch. Kosas launched the Soul Gazer Gel Eyeliners, and I picked one up in the shade Depth. We're going to swatch it right. Oh, this is honestly the first time I've used this. Some of these products I've been using for a week or two. This is the first time I've used this one. This is what it swatches. Very, very rich, highly pigmented, very creamy. No shimmer to this. It doesn't have any shimmer to this. So this is kind of just like your good classic kind of coffee brown liner. This is mechanical, which I appreciate. And it has a nice sharp tip. Okay, and a few things to note about this. This is waterproof, which means it's very long wearing, and it also has hyaluronic acid, which I didn't expect to see as a highlighted ingredient in an eyeliner, but that's good to know because the skin around the eye is so delicate that it's nice when you can find long wearing products like this that are also hydrating. Let's go in. I'm going to start on the kind of outer part of my lash line and create a little line. Now, when I'm looking for liners like this, it is important that they're creamy, but it's also important to me that once they dry, they set and stay in place. I'm going to put the cap on right away because what I want to do is I want to go and smudge this out. And I always recommend you guys doing one eye at a time with this because these formulas can tend to dry quickly. So if I were to line my eye and then go and do my other eye, by the time I got over here to blend and smudge this out, it might be dry already. I don't know for sure because this is the first time I'm working with this formula, but it's a risk that I don't want to take. So I like to just do one eye at a time. And I'm just running a little smudgy brush right over that to just soften and smoke it out. This is a nice pencil, very nice. Yep, it glides onto the skin very nicely, highly pigmented, which on the eyeliner, I do want a product and formula that is like strong with the impact right off the bat because this eyeliner area, this delicate skin, this sensitive, delicate skin, I don't want to be going over and over and over with it with an eyeliner, trying to get it off, like right at the lash line. The lid is a little different because you're not like right there at the lashes. Okay, that is so beautiful. Okay, let's do the lower lash line. Now, because this liner is so dark, I'm going to keep that line really isolated to the outer half. And I'm going to go in real quickly and just work it into the lash line. I think I am going to go over this with one of the Laura Mercier shadow sticks to even soften it some more. I'm really careful not to create a really harsh lower lash line. It can just be, very harsh, close the eye off a bit and a little too strong. But with that said, I am in the camp of putting something down there. I know some people don't like to do any liner down there. and that's another option too, but I do like to have a little definition down there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go blend this out, and then I'm going to take my shadow sticks and run it on top to soften it even more. Okay, perfect. All right, let's go in and let's use the more bronzy shade of these two. And I'm just going to run it right on top. This is going to lighten it a little bit. Also, because it has some shimmer and it's reflecting light, it's going to soften it. Just give a really softer, more subtle look underneath there. I'm going to go over it with my brush. Ooh, lovely. Ooh, I do love that on the lower lash line. So pretty. Okay, you guys, let's talk about lashes. New mascara is here, and again, this was a new discovery I discovered simply by perusing Sephora aisles. This is the Laura Mercier Caviar Extravagant Mascara, and there's a lot to say about this mascara, so let's talk about it. So this is described as being a volumizing, lengthening, and curling mascara. It's waterproof. It has plant leaf and stem extract, which promotes stronger, healthier looking lashes. It also has olive oil in it for conditioning the lashes. So this is what the wand looks like. Nice kind of round, full mascara wand. It kind of reminds me of just a good old traditional mascara wand. And we're gonna get right under here at the base of the lashes, wiggle back and forth, kind of resting the lash on it. This is allowing me to get as much product off the wand and onto the lashes as possible. And then I'm gonna go and pull and extend it all the way through. I think my favorite new formulas to try, and let me ask you guys this, drop a comment down below with what's your favorite type of new product? Like when I see new mascaras, new concealers, or new foundations, that's when I get really excited. Okay, let's talk about this mascara now that I've applied it. So this mascara definitely lengthens and adds volume, definitely. It gives a really pretty fanned out look to the lash. It's buildable. It's taking me a little effort to kind of build it, but it's not getting clumpy or too heavy by doing so. So you really can build it to get kind of the desired effect that you want from this. The wand is nice. It's a little bigger than I typically love, but it allows me control for being such a bigger wand, and it's not messy, which is nice. This gives you really pretty fanned out full lashes. I would say it's giving both length and volume, but if I hadn't read that off the website, I would describe this more as a volumizing mascara, which I personally love. I love mascaras that give a lot of volume at the base of the lash, more so than length. Don't get me wrong, I need length, I definitely need length, but I like a mascara that adds volume and length versus a mascara that'll take my lashes to the high heavens but won't give me that volume, you know what I'm saying? Okay, we're wrapping up, and I actually have two lipstick formulas that I wanna share with you guys, and they're very, very different. So NARS just launched a new lipstick. It's called their Explicit Lipstick Collection, and I have to tell you, the packaging on these is just stunning. It's just kind of this black on black. You have the NARS logo here, just kind of raised on the lipstick. It's so pretty. So the Explicit lipstick formulas are high impact, lots of pigment, they're creamy, they're long wearing, very comfortable. I have the shade Adulterous, and I have to say I do also like the packaging. You notice how the top to this is short? Like normally when you're looking at a lipstick bullet, you would think that you'd pull off this top part, but the lid is shorter. It kind of reminds me of the Westman Atelier packaging, which I love. And we're just gonna apply this on lips with no liner. I'm gonna show you the payoff of this. So very, very buildable. You can get high impact from this lipstick. You do have some flexibility with it though. Very comfortable. It's creamy. It feels hydrating on the lips, but it's not glossy. It just has a really pretty satin finish. So a little bit of shine, but not any gloss to it. These lipsticks also have hyaluronic acid in it, and they have medium coverage, and they're refillable. So when you are done with this lipstick, you can just buy a refill, which is nice. So here's what that lipstick looks like. Really pretty, kind of soft, nude, peachy shade. Okay, you guys, next we're gonna apply one of my current favorite lipstick formulas. This is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Stick, Lipstick Gloss Stick, I think it's what it's called. I have 3 shades. This shade is Fenty Glow number 3. I do also love the packaging on this. It's just this really beautiful kind of acrylic packaging. Each one comes in the shade referencing the shade color, so you get nice colorful shades. You have the Fenty logo kind of embossed and stamped into that lipstick bullet. I actually haven't worn this shade yet. I have a couple other shades that I've worn and loved, but I wanted to find a shade similar to the NARS just to show you the difference between the two formulas. And we'll do a little side by side after this to show you each one of them. These are medium pigment. These have shea butter and vitamin E in them, and they're high gloss. So comfortable on the lips. This is like that formula that gives you that lipstick, Lip Gloss Hybrid. Ugh, I love applying these. It just feels like such a treat for your lips. Oh my God, they feel so good. So the color's similar to that NARS, but do you see the shine that I'm getting? I'm getting a really high shine from these and high gloss. This definitely feels heavier on the lips. It's thicker, it feels heavy. I personally think it feels lovely, but if you like a lighter weight feeling on the lips, then the NARS actually would feel lighter weight on the lips. But two similar shades, new lipstick formulas, very different finish, very different texture. So that wraps up this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure and check this video out next. I think you're really gonna enjoy this one too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.